affect the physical and mental characteristics of every unborn child.
It's the stuff of science fiction, the wild imaginings of Hollywood films. Or is it? In late 2018, Chinese scientist Jinkui He shocked the world, claiming to have created the first ever gene-edited babies, twin girls named Lulu and Nana, using a tool called CRISPR-Cas9.
Right after we send her husband's sperm into her egg, we're also sending a little bit of protein and instruction for a gene surgery.
He said he had edited out a part of their DNA passed on from their HIV-positive father. This was to ensure the babies were born with a resistance to the virus. The announcement was met with surprise and skepticism from the scientific community.
Anything like this, you're going to get caught because there's just so much material that you don't know that's going on that it's dangerous and it's unethical. So that's why today there's such a tumultuous response against germline gene editing.
It's that term, germline editing, that makes CRISPR controversial. There's a distinct difference between editing embryos, which is what happened in China, and editing genes in a lab. Neville Sanjana, a scientist at the New York Genome Center and NYU, works with CRISPR technologies, and he explains the difference.
Somatic editing are things you do in one organism that is only in that organism, whether it be a plant or an animal, whatever. But germline editing is much more serious stuff, because that, when you edit, say, the sperm or the egg cells, that's something that's now a heritable mutation that's passed down to every cell in the next generation and potentially for many generations after it.
So what exactly is CRISPR-Cas9?
This is a clear-cut example of men, foolish men at that matter, playing God. Foolish men in their own conceited perception of themselves playing God, right? Because there is a way where everything has been put in a balance. All creation has been put in a balance by a supreme being. And here comes all these foolish men with their wicked inventions trying to manipulate the order of things, right? Trying to manipulate life. And that is foolish, very foolish. We'll get back to the video, but real quick. This is Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter and the 29th verse. It says, "Lo," which means look, "this only have I found, that the Most High has made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions." All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakha, Kodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and continue to teach us this truth. Peace, salutation, shalom, shalom, shalom to all you hopeful elect Akiam out there pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. And to you, Akiam, and now that are listening and learning, that of the household of faith, to you I say shalom, right? So we have to pull this scripture out because it tells you exactly that the Most High has made man upright, meaning you're not supposed to be doing this CRISPR germline gene editing. You're not supposed to even think of doing something like that. Why? Because you were made upright, beginning with the Israelite man. But only the wicked, that's why the scripture talks about what the Most High has made crooked, no man can make that straight. What is crooked? Meaning they are not upright. So there you have on the right hand side, you have the righteous that are upright. They wouldn't think of messing with nature like that. They wouldn't think of messing with life. Here it is. The fruits you eat have been modified. I mean, can you imagine that? The fruits you eat, the animal has been spliced. Their DNA has been spliced. You have pigs that have been spliced with the DNA of a mice, and you eat it. You know, this animal has been spliced in with another DNA of another animal. That is just madness, man. Just because you think you can do something doesn't mean you will do it. You see? I remember, as a youngin', heard the term test tube babies. Your life, they call you a test tube baby, or call somebody a test tube baby, you laugh at it. But that is not a joke. Humans were not designed to be test tube babies, what is it? In vitro insemination and all this madness. You see? And they would sell it to you like, oh man, this is the best thing since, sliced bread. It just shows that humans have come so far with technology and inventions and science. And nah, that's just stupidity. That's just foolishness. That's plain wicked. A baby is supposed to grow in the womb of a woman. And that process would be by the copulation of a man, putting his rod in the woman and getting her pregnant. That's how it's supposed to go. And now, they'll gene edit the baby. They'll tell, like the earlier clip we're watching, talking about how the parents had HIV and they had to edit the gene to remove the HIV, to make sure the baby, this is how they sell it to you. Right? This is how they sell it to you. And we always know there's always side effects with all of this. Of course there is. You're looking at men that are foolish, conceited in their own wisdom, their own backward-ass wisdom, trying to come up with something that they deem to be right. How do you think that's going to go? It never turns out well because their mind is all messed up. So their invention is going to be messed up also. That's why they will give you something that's supposed to treat you of one something, and then the side effects will be, tens and other side effects you have to deal with. That is broken men trying to come up with something that is good. It can't happen. Wicked men, for that matter. You see? So we have to read this scripture right here. They have sought out many inventions, be it from their philosophies, be it from their witchcraft, sorceries. These are all other inventions, right? Then you have your technology, you have your pseudoscience. These are nothing but wicked inventions man has pulled, right? It says here in Psalms, the 106th chapter. Let's just open that up. It says the 29th verse. It says, thus they provoked him to anger with their inventions, and the plague break in upon them, right? So by all these madmen, that's what they are. They are mad. Madmen, right? So by the things that they concoct, by all these inventions, trying to manipulate matter, trying to manipulate life, right? Manipulate things like this the way they do without, like you heard the dude talking about how it was unethical to be editing genes and DNA and all that. You get what I'm saying? No matter what the reason is, you're not supposed to do that. You get? So by them doing that, guess what? They provoke the creator of all these things to anger. Right? They provoke him to anger. So thus they provoke him to anger with their inventions, and the plague breaking upon them. So ultimately there will be a repercussion for all of this. Always has. Always will be. You can't think you can get away with all of this madness. Right? You cannot, man. Messing with nature like this, messing with life the way you do. You see? That's what happens. It says, that's the point right there. But only a God complex type of individual would seek to do something like this. We'll get back to the video. But quick point. Right? Trying to get the scripture because it takes Let's have a go. Quiet. There's a scripture I'm looking for. Bear with me a minute. Let me find the scripture real quick. Yep, that's it right here. Yep. This is Isaiah, the 14th chapter and the 12th verse. It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?" So when you hear that, you automatically think some angel fell from heaven down to earth, and you know how the Christians understand it with their warped mind, right? But this is talking about the Illuminatis, the illuminated one. The heaven that they fell from, or they're about to fall from, is their rulership. When somebody's doing good, be like, oh man, I'm in heaven right now, right? That's the term that we use when you're doing good, or maybe you fell in love with a very beautiful lady. You'd be like, oh man, I'm in heaven, right? Or you ate good food, you'd be like, oh man, got me feeling like I'm in heaven. So this is exactly what it's talking about. So this Lucifer just means light bearers. That's all it means, which is why the Illuminati, which goes back to the illuminated ones, right? Because they have the light, but their light is a pseudo light. It's a false light. You see? So it's not some angel that was fought in heaven and got cast down. All that is all bullshit. You see? It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations," right? So this is going directly to the wicked elites of the Edomites. These are your Lucifers, the light bearers, the false light bearers, and the weak nations by their philosophies, right? The way they do things through their democracy, right? The Babylon juice, if you will, right? The mindset, the westernized mindset that they push throughout the world. This is how they weaken the nations. Kamala Harris went to one of the African countries, can't remember, I think it was Uganda, telling them if they don't accept the alphabet lifestyle, they will cut the aid that they give them, right? So this is all how they weaken the nations. You see? By making the nations very demoralized, putting the women over the men, calling it women liberation, feminist movement, all that, right? This is how they weaken the nations. It says, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High." Who are the stars of the Most High? Your Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, right? It says, "I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud, and I will be like the Most High." So this is what we get. We get a God complex type individuals that are running the show, and they feel like they are God. Like you heard, if you watch the interview with Yuval Noah Harari, where he talks about how there will be no more God or Jesus. He calls it Jesus, and nobody, because there will be the new gods, right? If you've seen the movie American Gods, right? You have your old gods and you have your new gods. And the new gods were taking over the old gods, right? That's exactly what he was saying. So now there will be the new gods. And how are they going to do that? Through technology, right? Which goes back to the topic at hand with the germline, CRISPR, gene editing, right? That's what it is. So they use this technology by them being able to manipulate life in such a way that they do without thinking anything of it, they become the new gods, right? So they can manipulate your gene to how they want you to be. So by so doing, they become your God. You see, this is how they will sit in the throne of the Most High, right? Because the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High inhabits everything He creates, right? So they want to forcefully put themselves in that position, right? To take over your consciousness, if you will. You see? That's what it is. So this is how they will be. They want to exalt themselves like the Most High, right? And be like the Most High. Calling the shots. Changing nature. Changing humans. Your genome, your DNA, all of that, right? It says the 15th verse. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. What is hell? It doesn't mean like some place in the middle of the ground and, some red devil with horns and tail and pitchfork, poking at you. Hell is a condition, or ultimately grave. When you're buried, when you die and buried, that's hell right there. Gehenna, right? That's what it is. It doesn't mean an actual hell. You see? It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? Right? So this is how you know this old Lucifer right here is not, it's not talking about angel. Because all of this is still going into this old Lucifer, son of the morning, all that, right? So this is talking about men. That's why it says, they that see this. So when he's brought into, when the wicked elites of the Edomites, when they are brought into hardcore bondage, when they are put into subjection under the true biblical Israelites, guess what? They'll be looked at. All the other nations will not only look upon them and say, is this the man? Because with all the technology he's gotten, all his weapons of mass destruction, right? Atomic bomb, nuclear bomb, all that, right? So when that power is stripped from him, because that power was given to him for a time period, right? It said, the scripture talks about the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment, right? So that's what it is. So when that power is stripped from him, everybody, they will look at them and be like, man, look at, so this is the man that was, right? It says here, it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble, that did shake nations, that did shake kingdoms, right? How did he do that? Look at what he did in Hiroshima, Nagasaki. He literally shook that kingdom, which is the kingdom of the Ammonites, which are now known as Japan, right? So he shook them with that kind of power. So when that power is taken from him, they'll be looking at him. So you are the one that did all of this? You see, that's the Edomites. They did all of this. It says, that made the world as a wilderness, that destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. So whose MO is this? The biblical Edomites that are ruling right now, beginning with the wicked elites of the Edomites, which are your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, your Oppenheimers, your Gettys, your DuPonts, Merovingian, the usual suspects, right? So these are your Lucifers, your light bearers, the pseudo light bearers, right? The false light, if you will. And all they've done is turn the whole world into wilderness. They cut trees like it's nothing, right? They cut trees, pollute the whole place, build companies that pollute the whole earth, right? Drop bombs like it's nothing. Turning a paradise into wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof. Look what they're doing in Gaza right now. Hamas, Gaza, right? That's all the way they do it. That's your Lucifer right there. That opened not the house of his prisoners. Hey, Jake get locked up. You ain't coming out. They're not letting you out. So let's get back to the clip.
At its heart, CRISPR and Cas9 are DNA editors. They're DNA modifying systems.
CRISPR wasn't created by humans, it occurs naturally.
One, I think, incredible thing to know about CRISPR systems and Cas9 is that they weren't just created in a lab. They're actually naturally existing proteins. And the natural role of Cas9 and CRISPR systems in nature is a bacterial immune system.
It was actually less than a decade ago scientists realized the immense applications of CRISPR for gene editing. CRISPR stands for clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeats. It has two components that make it.
See, that's how the devil operates. He can't create nothing out of nothing, right? All he do is to tamper with something that is already there, right? So they'll look at, like they said, this CRISPR thing is already there. What they do, they now use it to start to gene editing and take out this and put in this, right? A lot of studies have found that now your gene, like mostly all mutated, like there are foreign things that have attached themselves to our DNA that are not supposed to be there. This is part of that. They know this. This is why they modify your food. They modify the water you drink, because, like they say, you are what you eat. So all of this becomes a part of you now. You get? This is how the devil is trying to own you. It's not enough that he gave you Social Security. It's not enough that he gave you birth certificate. It's not enough that he gave you passport and things of that nature. He actually wants to, like, have a patent to your body. If he can, he will have a patent to your soul also. You see? That's what they do, man.
What it is. The Cas9 protein, which cuts the DNA, essentially acting as the scissors, and a guide RNA, which is the brains of the operation, recognizing what DNA needs to be edited. To use the CRISPR tool, scientists first identify the sequence of DNA that they want to edit, then create a specific guide RNA to recognize that piece of DNA. The RNA is placed inside the cutting tool, the Cas9 protein. This is then introduced into the cells. It locates the target sequence that the RNA has been designed to recognize and then cuts the DNA. Once the cut is made, scientists can delete.
Which brings to mind, the thing that they introduced in the world for the past, 2 going on 3 years. You know what I mean by that? The thing that they introduced, the arm candy, the juicy juice, the Maxine Waters, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is exactly what it was doing. It was modifying you. You see? It was modifying you, doing all kinds of things to you. And I don't have to say much to that. You know how YouTube gets down, but that's exactly what it is. Think. That's what it is. A lot of people complain about that. They modify you through that. Because it has the same messenger RNA, I don't want to say too much, but you get what I'm saying. It has that messenger RNA, to do some work, go to your DNA, the genes, your DNA, and attach themselves to it, right?
Modify or insert entirely new DNA sequences.
Okay, so that still seems a bit complex, and you're probably thinking, I really don't understand what that means.
Think of it like editing a document. You find the errors or the words you don't want. You highlight them and remove or replace those words. That's essentially what CRISPR does in DNA.
You find the errors, right? You find the errors. That's the pride of the devil right there. So they're saying that the God of the Bible, he made a mistake and they're the ones to correct it. Who the hell are you? Right? Who the hell are you, man? Get the scripture real quick. So this is Isaiah, the 29th chapter and the 16th verse. It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not, right? Saying there's no God and, human beings or everything just happened by happenstance and the Big Bang Theory and all that bullshit, right? And you're turning of things upside down, part of this gene editing bullshit. Excuse my French. And then you go into the whole gender reassignment surgery, right? So this is all part of turning of things upside down, saying a man can be a woman can be a man, and putting women over the man and all that crap. So this is how they turn things upside down. Who is doing this? The devil. But when I say the devil, I don't mean some, spiritual demon or whatever. I mean men that are playing the role of devils, man. And the word devil simply means deceiver. And the ultimate deceiver is none other than the wicked elites of the Idumeans. Right? It starts from them on down. You see? So this is how they turn things upside down. So for the work say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding. This is why they're saying the DNA, they try to correct the errors. In other words, they're saying the Most High that did what he did has no understanding. Let's say there was something that defective in your gene that made you go blind or that made you have some kind of disease. Guess what? It was supposed to be so. It was supposed to be so because we are in hell if you don't know that, right? Under heaven. Let's get that real quick. Bear with me. Place of judgment. It's supposed to be in Ecclesiastes. Under the sun. Bear with me. Yep, here it is. So this is Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, and the 16th verse. It says, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. What is under the sun? The earth where we live. Our habitat that is under the sun is where we live. We're not above the sun, right? So where we are, this is the place of judgment. What is judgment? Where you come to serve out punishment from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? From the God of the Bible. So when you die, you go up in the heavens, then you reincarnate. People think about reincarnation as something wicked, is some Indian mysticism or whatever. Nah. What you have to understand, most of the wisdom, most of the things people believe, they all plagiarize the scriptures. They all plagiarize the Bible, right? That's what it is. So there's a thing called reincarnation. Just means back carnate, flesh, back in the flesh. What is back in the flesh? Your spirit. So whatever that spirit of yours did in life, it will go up in the heavens. Then judgment is passed down to that spirit. Then you come down on earth. This is why people come down blind, maimed, impotent, barren, whatever the case may be. You come here, you serve it. You serve that punishment. You see? So you're trying to say like you're trying to correct it, like you're doing something good. Nah, man, you're trying to wrestle with judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? Because it is all the purpose of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But here comes foolish men playing God, right? Let's read it. That wickedness was there. Yeah, we see it right now. There's all kinds of wickedness in the earth. And the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Hey, need I say more? And I said in the 17th verse, and I said in my heart, the Most High shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time, therefore, for every purpose and for every work. So the righteous and the wicked will be judged, right? So the righteous will get the good righteous judgment, the wicked will get their just due, right? All in time.
And how it was used to edit the embryos in China.
CRISPR, it's so useful. I mean, scientists have been trying to introduce changes into the DNA in order to understand the function of genes, in order to understand the function of the bits of DNA in between the genes for years. And, there's been techniques to do that, but this allows really accurate changes to be done very quickly.
CRISPR is being used in many different ways that don't involve making designer babies. It's used in everything from creating healthier and stronger crops, like wheat, to finding drugs that may work best to treat a specific cancer.
So we have quite a new technology at the Sanger Institute where we take tissue from people with cancer. So we take a bit of the cancer tissue and we're actually able to grow it in culture. And then what we do is we can treat these cells from the patient with CRISPR-Cas9, and we can basically work out which genes are involved with the cancer of that particular patient.
So while CRISPR has opened up a whole new realm of possibility when it comes to gene editing, experts agree that this doesn't mean we will see designer babies with hand-picked eye colors or resistance to cancer anytime soon.
It's not going to be that easy to make someone.
It goes on to talk about practically modified foods. This is how you get your seedless watermelons. Come on, dog. You get your seedless watermelons. You get your bananas that don't taste like bananas. You get your apples that taste like plum. All this modified foods. They'll sell it to you like it's all good. Oh man, we get the better wheat. But look at the GMOs, man. Look at the harms that it's cost on people. You see what I'm saying? So they will give you like I said, problem, reaction, solution. So they will overimpose these problems on the earth, and then people will react, and here comes their solution. Chemotherapy, we got that. So what is the root cause of all these cancers? What is happening here? Not just you trying to give me chemo. What is the problem? What is the root cause of all of this? You get what I'm saying? Madness, man.
Super strong or give them superhuman eyesight. These are complex genetic traits and we don't fully understand them.
The scientist who created the CRISPR babies has largely been condemned for his use of germline editing. He's lost his job, and China has taken steps to prevent this from happening again. But there is no denying it has opened up a conversation about CRISPR as a gene editing tool.
I think what's really interesting is this sort of ethical debate that's now happening. And I think while what happened in China was irresponsible in the way it was done, I think on the other hand, we are now having a conversation, and I think it's an important conversation to have.
In a society where success is determined by science.
So while science fiction has become reality, we aren't likely to see Hollywood's version of designer babies in the foreseeable future. But an important debate on ethics and how far is too far has now begun as scientists continue to push the limits of innovation, using CRISPR to better human life, the world.
So when they tell you that they're not doing something, 9 times out of 10 they're doing it. When they tell you that they discontinued this and they discontinued that, 9 times out of 10 they're really doing that, man. Just behind closed doors, without you knowing, right? That's all there is to it. They lie in your face every time, man. This is Ecclesiasticus, the 19th chapter, and start for the 20th verse. It says, "The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law, and the knowledge of his omnipotency." Right? So the fear of the Lord is in all wisdom. So if you have wisdom, you will know to fear the Lord. And if you fear the Lord, you know not to tamper with the things that he created, not to mess with his creation the way foolish men are doing. Right? It says that, and all wisdom is the performance of the law. What law? The laws that are written in the scriptures, man. The laws that are written in the Bible. We are conversant with the 10 laws, right? The 10 commandments, but there's 614 of them, if I'm not mistaken. It says, and the knowledge of his omnipotency. In other words, the God of the Bible is all powerful. You shouldn't try to fuck with him. Excuse my French. You shouldn't try to mess with the things he created, you know. It's just because men lack wisdom. They are foolish men. That's why they go about doing all of this, and they will get their just due. Believe that. It says, if a servant said to his master, I will not do as it pleaseth thee, though afterward he do it, he angereth him that nourisheth him, right? When you say you will not do what your master said to tell you to do, and you end up doing it, it's just, it's just pushing him to, jack you up, so to speak. Here's the point. It says, the knowledge of wickedness, the 22nd verse, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. So your germline, gene editing, CRISPR, all of that, that is knowledge of wickedness, right? So just because you can do something like that doesn't mean it is prudent, right? Because, the way they sell it to you, they will do this, they will eradicate diseases. They've been saying that all, for the longest. And diseases are still getting worse. You see, they're getting worse. Why? Because the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. It never will be. Neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. So when they come together in their think tanks and trying to, like they say, with this whole thing with the Chinese scientists that came up with this germline gene editing bullshit, right? Now it is made the science world, so to speak, the experts, so to speak, come together to, talk about the gene editing and all that. These are nothing but counsel of sinners, and you wouldn't consider it to be prudent because all they're going to come up with is things that will further mess the whole world up, like they always do, right? Like they always do. But hey, we'll trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Because ultimately, all this false science is at an end. And there's about to be real, true science. Real science means to know. It's about to be, like it tells you in the scriptures, that the earth groaneth for the manifestations of the sons of the living power. Right? Because once the true creators of the earth, the 144,000, under the supervision of our Lord, Yahweh Shai, when we take over, Lord willing, we are part of that. Guess what? The earth wouldn't have all this gene editing bullshit, wouldn't have all these sicknesses that's plaguing the world the way it is because of poor management. This is why the earth needs new management, right? And it's coming right up. All we got to do is keep believing, keep pushing, keep praying, And with that, all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.